Alright guys, welcome back to another video here. We are going to continue with this series of the multi-day runners and spikers that we're seeing taking place in the marketplace. We are looking at PIK. If you guys haven't already, I have made some other videos, basically introductory videos into what we're looking at in relation to this particular trade. Now we're going to get a little advanced here in this video. So without further ado, we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. So ultimately here, with PIK, I find this one rather fascinating because what we're seeing in the marketplace right now is we're starting to see these stocks that continue multiple days. Okay, so you see how you have the run up here. This is actual trading day itself. You have this fever pitch at the end. Then you have after hours where it kind of consolidates, breaks down in pre-market, and then explodes again a second day. So this is what we call multi-day runners because on this day it ran, and on this day it ran, being Thursday and Friday. Okay, so, and again, I appreciate, the people who are here, whether you guys are, brand new to trading or you guys are rather advanced in your trading. I always like to break it down and make sure that there's no person that's ever viewing this at any point that won't understand what we're looking at. So, for the advanced traders, you guys are definitely going to get some good stuff out of this too. But I always want to make sure that our introductory traders, the newbies of the world, you guys have a good understanding of what's going on. All right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and highlight this particular area here. So we're going to do pre-market of the first day of the run all the way through the trading day. So as you guys can see, remember this is the volume indicator, tells you what's going on. You see that there's some volume that's taking place in pre-market. And these are all the 5-minute candles, which we highlight up here at the top. So as you can see, you have the volume 259,000 with this candle, and then you have over 1.25 million shares traded in this candle. So what that's telling you is that in a 10-minute time frame, there's 1.5 million shares traded of this. So, excuse me. So what that tells you, and by the way, guys, I don't edit this type of stuff out. This is one take, so you get the real. So anyway, within this first 10 minutes, you see that there's 1.5 million shares that are traded. Okay, so that tells you there's something that's going on, and obviously the way that this formation takes place, you see how it kind of creates that flag, right? Where you have the pole, then you have the flag taking place, and then you have the explosion here. Okay, so for the people who were on top of it and kind of saw what was going on, as you can see, there was 9 million shares that were traded here in this first move. 5 minutes later, there were 5 million shares traded. So at this point, there's 14 million shares that have been traded in a 10-minute time frame. There's a ton of people in this, guys, because the one thing you got to remember, no matter if you're a bull or a bear, meaning no matter if you are long bias or short bias, you have to recognize the fact that there's 14 million shares that have been traded. So that means this thing is, locked and loaded and ready to go. Now, as you can see, after that tremendous move, you do have the one peak right here where it kind of breaks. It doesn't break the 430 mark. So then you see this little consolidation that begins to take place here, and you have a move downward. Okay. Now, as you can see throughout the trading day, it pretty much, kind of stays at a certain level. If you look at this, you'll see the lowest point it got to was 307 in the actual trading time frame, and that's this actual point right here. Okay, so what this tells me, just looking at this alone, is that okay, if it's not, because what normally happens in some of these situations, you'll see a run up here, and then you'll see a kind of a breakdown, and then a further breakdown, and then a further breakdown all the way, and it kind of bleeds out. It didn't do that. It kind of held its ground, and like I said, as you can see here, this was the lowest point in the regular trading day, which is 307. So what this tells me, if you're literally just watching this from this point, and we get to this without it breaking down even further, there's a good chance you're going to see a move upward because it's not breaking down. The other thing too that you have to kind of look at is that in the first, we want to say, what, 20 minutes of the trading day, there was a ton of volume. And after that, the volume kind of went down tremendously. So people made whatever move they wanted to make here. And then, people kind of abandoned it for a little bit, which is not uncommon as well. Then what we tend to look at, guys, because remember, this is amazing stuff. This is meat right here, guys. I mean, a lot of this stuff that we're talking about, they make you pay for this. I don't believe in that. I think that's crazy. I'm like, hey, let's just give it to the people for free. Obviously, if you need some advanced, help, things like that, where it's just not clicking, that's something different. And that's a whole different thing in and of itself. But ultimately, I mean, guys, you gotta know the basics of it, right? And so what you see here, you see how this time of day it has 11 a.m. Now this is what we tend to call, or we look for, like the power hour, because this is where normally you'll start to see these kinds of moves, and it actually held true to form, because right around 11 you see that there's a breakdown prior to it. So you have, one, two, three, four, five red candles, but you see the red candles aren't really that big, right? There's not a lot of range in these candles, okay? That's a good sign too if you're long biased, because you're saying, okay, there's no breakdown that's taking place. The lowest point was here, right around that 9:10 area, and so you're seeing it kind of gradually go up slowly, right? Okay, so then we get to the 11 o'clock hour, which is an important hour of the day for traders. And so what happens is, if you also look at the bottom of the screen, look, the volume's starting to come back, right? So you're starting to see the volume come back as this is moving upward. Now this is a sign right here, guys, because if you're seeing the green candles take place with volume, then that means that the longs are in control, right? Or the longs are the ones that's pushing it, right? So ultimately you have one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. You have seven green candles here, okay? So what that's telling you is for 35 minutes we haven't had a red candle. So what that tells me at this point, if you weren't in this trade here, and you kind of just waited it out just to see what was going on, this absolutely, if you didn't get in here, because some people, it takes some courage to get in right here, okay? Because we don't know if this is going to bleed down or if it's going to actually make a move. Based off of this, though, it feels like there was just consolidation and a move was coming, which it actually ended up happening. So, with the move that takes place here, I would identify if there's going to be some red candles, because there's always some kind of retrace at any point. There just is. The retrace happens here at the 5 minute mark, here and here. This is where I would identify an entry, because what it's telling me is there was 35 minutes worth of green candles with volume down here. Okay, and then you see the red candles here, the volume isn't as big as the previous green candles, the volume there. Okay, so what that's telling me is, all right, this has an opportunity for a move. And it wasn't just an opportunity for a move, it was a huge move, because as you can see on this particular candle, which was noon, it opened at 391, which tells us up here. So it opened at 391, and then that 5 minute goes to the high of 423. Then you have another move here, opens at 417, high 461. Then you have the mega move, right, which opens at the 438, high of 520. So this move right here in 15 minutes, you're going from basically $4, because it opens at $3.91. So you're basically going from $4 a share up to $5.20 a share. As you can see, the volume down here is tremendous, guys. So this is the stuff we want to look at. This is the stuff that we're looking for. We're looking for this kind of move here, because when you see that upward curve here with some nice consolidation, 10 minutes worth of consolidation, but on lighter volume, this tells us we have a chance for it to go, and it went. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes. Okay, so for 30 minutes, this thing basically went straight up. Starting from this candle right here, remember this was opened at $3.91. By the time 30-minute had ended, it got to a high of $6.19. Guys, that's almost double your money. Okay, just right off the top. Basically went from 391 to 619 in a 30-minute time frame. So in essence, I always like to make things extremely simple. So for simple math's sake, guys, if you were trading, 100 shares and you got in here, you paid $391. If you were able to literally find that top, you got out, you're out at 619 bucks, right? And that's with buying 100 shares. Now, if you're buying 1,000 shares, you would have laid down $3,910, but you would have came out with $6,190. This is the power, guys. When we're finding these runners that run like this, you can make a lot of money in a short amount of time. And this is just one trading day. So what I'm going to do, we're going to take a look at this as well. Because remember, all we did was look at this one area here. Now we have movement here. Obviously, it gets to this fever pitch. There's a pullback. So if you're a type of person that is short biased, there's opportunity there too. It hits the high, and then there's some retrace all the way down to the 450. So if you're someone who's short bias and you took it saying, hey, this thing isn't going to blow beyond 620, and you're able to find that top and you wrote it down to the first level here of this 450, you make money that way too. I tend to lean long bias, and especially for these kinds of videos, because I just like the premise that people are looking at very, very clear aspects of the trade itself. But to quickly recap, guys, just so you have a good idea of what we're looking at. We're looking at this run up first to this point here, okay? Then what we're gonna do, and I'll just go ahead and just make some lines just to make it simple for you guys. But actually, let me just do it like this, because I'll just put the alert in there just to make life super simple. So we look at this first mark here, right? This first mark tells us in pre-market, okay, this is where it popped up to. So at this point, I would have set an alert for basically like 420, because in my mind I'm thinking if it breaks through the 430, that's where I want to get in on a trade at. So this is where honestly I would enter the trade at, even though there's some people that can do it and kind of identify, like I said, off of the candles that were previous here. If you're really studying this and you're in front of the screen the whole day, you would have looked to find it right around this area right here where the curve took place here, okay? But again, if you're one of those type of people, you're not always in front of the computer screen. You definitely could have set an alert here, or basically I probably would have did it probably around the 420 range, but the breakout is the 430. If you can get in anywhere between there, then you're riding this next wave up here, and then hopefully looking to get out. My target would have probably been $6 a share, only because whole numbers are psychological, and so I would have wanted to try to get out there. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have been able to identify the top here, so I probably would have set my place to get in somewhere around 420, get out around 6, and take the profit for the day. So ultimately, that's what we're looking at, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, share this channel out, because I like to give content for people at various stages and various levels of their trading career. So ultimately, I don't want people to feel like, oh, all the money's already been made, there's no way I can get into trading now. That's absolutely not true. Actually, right now is the perfect time to get into it, because there's market sentiment that is taking place in various levels of the economy that's creating these opportunities, guys. So again, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, share this video. Make sure you guys are watching all the videos from start to finish, because I like to kind of keep them short. I always keep them between 12 and 15 minutes, because I want you guys to get the information, and then I want you to be able to then take it into your trading scenarios and to be able to apply them. Alright guys, we'll catch you on the next video.